Story with the bidet. That summer heat can turn your hole and surrounding areas very swamp-like. Oh my god, it can. I call it Californian hole. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. What a fantastically day it is here in Ireland. It is raining. There is rain falling from the sky. There's lots of water falling down from the sky, which means it's coming into my caravan and it's drowned in the place. There's water everywhere. What's the story with the rain? Why does it always rain? Why can't we have Arizonian weather over here? I'm sick the fuck. As also, when I was coming back from America, just a little thing popped in my head here, and I'm just wondering if this happened to anyone else. So when I was coming back through security, when I was coming through security in where was I? Sacramento, right? So obviously, when I'm coming through security, I took off my shoes, my hoodie, my hat, all the stuff out of my pocket. And when I was coming through security, put your hands up, you know that stupid pose they make you do. Came through security and walked out the other side, and they show you the picture, and there was a red circle where my penis is, okay? And he said, "Sir, is there anything in your pocket? Do you have any weapons?" I said, "I have a weapon, but it is attached to my body. I call it the hammer." Now, he obviously didn't get the joke. It completely went over his head. Maybe it was my accent, maybe it was me just talking about my penis again. But there was a red circular around, and he said, "We're going to have to search you." And I said, "Once you don't start fingering my hole, I don't mind a bit of a search." And he brought me to the side, and it was genuinely a round circle. They thought I was hiding something in my penis, but it was just my penis. So obviously I had to do like a step forward, and he had to search in around my ball bag area, and then I'd step the other way, and he had to search the other side of my ball bag, and then he turned me around, and he felt my hole. He didn't finger me, thank God, because I could do without that. I'd only get turned on if he fingered me. So then he had to turn me around, and the back of his hand was rubbing off my Mickey. And I said, "Are you having a good time there?" And he just looked up and looked down and continued on searching me. A great sport he was, in fairness to him. And then flagged me on. And I assumed it was a problem with the machine or something, that it just happened to, red circle around my penis. So I forgot about it. So then I landed in JFK, and the same thing again. I was coming through security and put all this, like there was nothing in my pocket, nothing. Went through that fucking stupid pose thing, put your hands up, and came out the other side, and he goes, "Sir, is there anything in your pocket?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "Look at the screen." I looked at the screen. There was a red circle around my Mickey again. For the Americans and the UK people that are watching, your Mickey is your penis, for future reference. And I was like, "Is this a joke?" He goes, "No, sir, we're going to have to search you." I said, "For fuck's sake. Once you're not fingering me, that is fine. I'm okay for a quick search." And again, I had to do the step forward, rubbing around my bollocks, step forward, rubbing around my bollocks, turn me around, grab me by the hole, give me a little shake in the hole, turn me around, back of the hand of the penis, and glided it down along. And he said, "Thank you, sir." But why was that? Is it because I have a hammer attached to me? No, I'm not bragging, lads. I'm not bragging. Is it because I abused myself so much in California that it was red and glowing? Anyway, lads, I don't know. Is that a common thing for when you come through the airport, that your Mickey fucking sets off the security alarms? It is for me. I have a weapon attached to me. Anyway, comments, lads. Story with the bidet. The bidet. That summer heat can turn your hole and surrounding areas very swamp-like. It can. I'll be honest with you, I've never used a bidet in my life. I don't see the point. Like, if you use enough paper, toilet paper, and give yourself a good rub, a good scrub in your hole, it does the area. Like, it's not as if I'm shitting all over the place and all over myself that I need to wash the area thoroughly. Like, why are these things even invented? For me, when I'm going for a shite, it just bloop. You know, I don't fucking. Are people's arse cheeks kind of close together where it just messes out? I don't know. Anyway, that's enough talking about shite. The same people throwing hate at Mitch online would probably ask him for the photo if they saw him. Exactly. That's my problem with these people. They'll do all the talking shit online. Fuck Mitchell Hooper. Fuck Pa. Pa's a cunt. I am a cunt. Pa's a cunt. Fuck Pa. And then the same people, if they say, oh, can we get a quick photo? Yeah, of course you can. Just want you to weren't talking shit about me. You probably were. But anyway, yeah, that's my, I agree there with you. Marky Mark. What a name. Tinfoil hat comment. I feel like when Tom goes up against a current former world's strongest man, he always wins the title. 2021 beat out 4-time champ Brian Shaw. 2022 beat 2020 champ Novikov. 23 lost to Hooper, who would go on to win his first title. So your tinfoil hat isn't really... 24 beat Hooper to regain his title. 25 lost by a hair to a newcomer. Oh, I see what you mean now. I feel like when he makes it to the finals next year, if he's up against either Reno or former winner, he will secure his 4th title. Also, would love to see World's Strongest Man travel internationally again. Kind of tired of them going to the same place over and over again. That's very true. I can see Tom come back next year and win it. Tom at Worlds is a very hard man to beat, and it would literally take a phenom to beat him, and Reno is a phenom. And I just think that he was kind of blindsided by Reno, which kind of takes you by surprise a small bit. Whereas going into next year, he knows what Reno's capable. He knows his strengths, his weaknesses, the same as he knows about Hooper. So it's Worlds next year is going to be so exciting. And yes, I wish they would come out of America. You know, in the audience in America, fair play to the UK crowd. Fair fucking play to you lads. Because from what I can see, it was 80% UK in that stadium, if not more. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyone I spoke to there did not have an American accent. Now, I spoke to a few people, I suppose, that had them. You know, it wasn't majority UK is what I'm saying. So you can imagine if that was in the UK, right? Here's my idea. We're at World's Strongest Man anyway for 10 to 12 days, right? If you flew everyone in on a Thursday, have the heats on a Saturday and Sunday, right? Heat Saturday, Sunday. You've all the following week off. So Monday to Friday on your week off, we could be doing podcasts. We could be doing all this other stuff, social media stuff, getting to know the athletes, doing stupid shit like golfing and all that. Then we have the finals Saturday and Sunday. Fly everyone home Monday. And do a stadium Saturday, Sunday. Stadium Saturday, Sunday. It's weekend. It would fill the stadium. This is my idea. This is all on my own. And I've said it to Worlds and they agree. And can we just make it happen in the UK? Finally. Please make it happen in the UK. I've literally given you everything that you need to do. I would help with social media for free. Well, I won't, but you know, why should I do it for free? And you know, and then Darren has all the stuff. Giants Life has all the equipment, has all the staff. I can't see why we can't make it happen. Shower of cunt. Have I to tell you to do everything, for fuck's sake? I know a lot of people think Mitch is great at Atlas stones, rightly so. The guy is great at almost everything in Strongman, but I feel he is average at best and shouldn't be in the same conversation as Tom or Trey. Well, you're wrong. I think he's one of the best stone lifters around. He beat Trey, the year he won World's Strongest Man was 23, and he beat Trey at stones. And Tom only beat Hooper by 3 seconds. So that to me is a good stone lifter. Listen, you can't judge a man by his last competition, which happens to be his worst outcome, which also happens to be another podium for him, which is 3rd place. You know, he just had a bad weekend. He's going through a lot of shit. I just feel when he gets over this, he's going to be the Hooper again. He's going to be really hard to beat, you know. If Hooper threw any event, the deadlift stood out. Think he was just burnt out though. None of the top guys brought their best form, in my opinion. So Reno won. Hope he's more than one hit wonder. You know, I know when you see this deadlift, right, all you see is 350 kilos for reps. It's not. There's so much fucking shit to deal with outside of that. The heat alone, it was about mid-30s to late 30s degrees. It was so hot. It was so clammy. And lads, any of you that wear a deadlift suit, you know how hot it gets inside in that. So you can imagine that heat, right, is coming down top of your fucking bald head. because the most of us are fucking bald. Then you have rubber mats, black rubber mats, right? So which reflect heat and bring it back up. So the very minute you get on that stage, you're literally, it's like stepping inside an oven. Then, right, the bar is like an axle bar, right? The bar is like an axle bar. I know you saw a normal bar, but it's basically an axle bar. It's so stiff, it feels like a squat bar. Then it was a 1 inch deficit. So you had the bar was set at, like your gym bar is 9 inches. This bar was 8 inches. It was just so many things outside of 350 kilos to deal with that make that so hard, which is why we see so many people underperform. Hooper was just off in his deadlift. As I said before, I asked him how many reps he could hit before he went out. He said 12 to 15, and he ended up doing 7 and struggled. Now, his straps kept coming off, but there's just so many things at Worlds just make it so much harder. There was a video showing Luke Richardson lifting up the tic-tac stone quite a number of times prior to his bicep tear. Is this normal for an athlete to do? You think this could contributed to his horrible injury? Truly gutted for him. We're all gutted for him. I suppose hindsight, it wasn't the greatest thing to be doing. I mean, well, like we spent the bones of an hour trying to master this thing, but like hindsight, probably it did not help. I think just a quick mess around would have sufficed, because it was well within his grasp to press a 120 stone. Though I did catch a lot of people out by surprise. And see, some people think if you press a stone that's this size, it's easy. This stone was like 13 inches thick. Anyway, I'm fucking tired about it. It was a hard stone to press. I'm still not sleeping, lads. I'm sleeping, but you know, it's broken, and I'm waking up and I was like, it's time to masturbate again. Because lads, don't you be lying to me, because anytime I bring it up in conversation with other people, they're like, oh, you're so disgusting. It's like, everyone does it. I probably do it more than the average person, but everyone does it, and no one cares, really, unless you bring it up in front of like a priest or your nana or something. Because you talk about masturbating in front of your nana, she doesn't appreciate it. No. She'll like, will you leave your cock alone? Anyway, lads, it's Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. This is a short episode today. I'm fucking tired. I can't sleep. Do you know what would be brilliant is erectile dysfunction. Just so I could leave myself alone for a while. Especially when I'm away in America, you know, you're just tearing on rooting at yourself, and you're like, oh, do you know what we could do? Do you know what we haven't done in like 20 minutes? Masturbate. Yeah, sure, let's do that again. Gold, I'm just going to read this down out because it popped up here in front of me. Golden age of strongman is over is an absolutely wild comment. You're watching the golden age of strongman. And I think so. And do you know, the proof of that will be the rest of the competition. The rest of the competitions this year, particularly at the World Deadlift Championships. We are going to see some heavy numbers, I think, this year at the World Deadlift Championships. I honestly think if Hooper can get his head back on his shoulders, we're going to see 505. I think we're going to see, I imagine they're not going to go 470 again, because they're going to want to hit a bigger number, because a lot of people hit 470 last year. I think they should aim to hit 475 or 480. I think 480 is a nice round number, in my opinion. So hopefully, can you imagine that, 480 deadlift, and there's like 6 or 8 that are going to deadlift that. Crazy. And you're telling me this is not the golden age of strongmen? Do you know what I mean? I remember one of the lads over at Worlds was telling me, I think it was Terry Hollins that was saying to me, that the farmer's walk that Jeff Capes did in one of the world's strongest men was 86 kg in each hand. 86 kilos in each hand. That's what the farmer's walk was at Worlds. I don't know. Anyway, lads, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you all get the ride, and fucking whatever else do you want to do the weekend. I hope I get the ride. Good luck to you, lads.